No need to be sorry.
So welcome, everybody. So guess what? We're going to be talking about sex. And like she said, it's not dirty, raunchy sex, but it is definitely the topic of sex. So get out your notebooks. Let's take some notes. Let's get some questions going. Let's get a conversation going because that's what it's about. It's, about making sure that we understand why. Like, why? How come? And I'm not going from a Christian perspective. I'm not doing when this is not any spiritual at this moment. This is not what this call is about. It's just about having a conversation that we usually don't have in different settings. It's of course clean, so it's not vulgar, but if we have a conversation, I think it allows everybody to just open up. So I know Queen Marva and I, it's very there's nothing really planned or set in stone, but there are a few things that I checked out. See if I can find it. And of course, it just vanished. All that I had. See here. And it was just talking about, why sex, why intimacy, like what is it really good for, and why are we doing it, and all this different stuff. So did you know these are some did you knows, and I'm sure you did, but did you know that sex burns calories? So it can sure beat the gym. So depending on how physical you get, sex can strengthen muscle tone, increase your heart rate, get your whole body working. Listen, okay. And according to a 2013 study in which volunteers wore activity trackers while they did the deed, men burned 101 calories per session, whilst women torch an average of 69 calories. We got to do some more working. Relatively speaking, that's not a huge amount, but it's just proving the point that guess what? It is definitely going to burn some calories. And then it also said, however, that sex in the study from foreplay to orgasm lasted an average of 25 minutes. So if you go longer, you might burn some more calories. But in order to sometimes go longer, what do we need? We need energy. And for the men, sometimes they need to be able to flow correctly in order to be able to last longer. And in order to flow correctly, you need what? Microcirculation. And what product do we have for microcirculation? What product do we have, guys?
Bellagio.
Exactly. And that's for energy. That energy, it gives energy to the mitochondria. That's the energy houses of the cells. So we definitely have a product that not only can bring the body to homeostasis, but can also allow the body to get to a level that it needs to have a sustained happy sex life as well. Did you know that sex helps you sleep? After orgasm, the body releases a relaxation hormone called prolactin. Did you know that? So if you're not feeling particularly tired beforehand, having sex and reaching orgasm may certainly help you nod off a little bit more quickly than you would otherwise. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know that sex lowers blood pressure and stress levels? Did y'all know that? Anyone on here? No? Nobody's listening? Nobody's hearing me? Nobody has anything to say? Did you know that?
I think the mics might be closed. You don't unlock that?
I don't think so. All the mics are open. I don't have them muted because you're not muted, so everybody else can talk too. But I guess nobody wants to talk. I don't know. Lisa, did you know that? Lisa, you're out there. Did you know that, Lisa?
Yes, I did.
Also, do you make sure that your blood pressure is on point at all the time?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
That is what I'm talking about. Yes. So it lowers your blood pressure and it lowers those stress levels. So but only penile vaginal intercourse seem to have this effect, not masturbation or any other forms of sexual activity. So it's when you're literally penile vaginal intercourse, when this is going to happen, where the blood pressure will lower and where your stress levels going to help to do that as well. Okay. And so it says sex not only lowers people's perceived levels of stress, but it also appears to help them handle stress more effectively. So you get all that energy out, get all that excess energy that needs to be burnt. You get it out by having sex. Did you know that sex strengthens your heart? Did you know that? Did you know? Sex helps to regulate hormones like estrogen and testosterone, which impacts all kinds of systems in the body, including the heart. Which product do we have that helps to balance estrogen and testosterone? Anyone on here know which product we have that can help with estrogen and testosterone levels?
I would say in the 7.
Actually, Hasaki. Hasaki.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
the 596 metabolites.
Yes, and it actually turns down the estrogen and testosterone levels up and down, depending on what they need, what is needed, what is necessary. It's actually able to do that. That's a part of what it does, which is really cool and amazing. Yes, yes, yes. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know they say that sex may protect against cancer?
Oh, Lord.
Listen, some studies have suggested that men who ejaculate more frequently may have a reduced risk of prostate cancer.
Yes. I know that one.
Even though it says, although the difference appears to be very small and others haven't found a conclusive link, but the benefits may be clearer for breast cancer prevention, however. So a French study found that women who had sex at least once a month were less likely to develop breast cancer than those who didn't. And while the disease is rare in men, those who orgasm less than 6 times a month appear to be increased risk of breast cancer compared to those who don't do it as often. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, did you know that sex boosts your immunity system? Did you know that?
No way.
Yes. Listen, getting busy on a weekly basis stimulates the immune system and provides protection from the common cold.
Jesus.
So listen, if we see people sneezing too much, we need to give them a barrage and say, y'all need to go have fun, okay? Y'all needs to go and have some fun.
When you're sharing all that bacteria.
Because the microbiome's just getting all over the place.
Yeah, interchanging bacteria, strengthening the body.
You understand. See, listen, y'all ain't understanding what we be learning. We be learning about all this bacteria. This bacteria helping us. We get to have more bacteria flowing through the body. Y'all hearing me? This is crazy.
I didn't get COVID, eh?
Oh, Jesus. I was like, what? How? So they say they found that students who had sex once or twice a week had 30% more IgA than those who had sex less frequently. So I was like, what? So what is that? Well, researchers gave college students questionnaires about their sex lives and tested their saliva for levels of immunoglobulin, which is the IgA, an antibody that helps prevent off viruses. So they found that those that did it, 30% more IgA. Isn't that like crazy?
But you're saying insane. Students.
These are high school, college students doing whatever they do. So just as we are grown, they over 18. So they grown too. Can't get in their business. I don't get in people's business. It ain't my business. So did you know that sex relieves pain? Did you know that?
No, women my knees hurting me right now.
Say again?
My knees hurting me. So.
Well, we know what you need to do. Bedroom bullying. So it says women often skip sex because of headaches, or so the cliche goes. But according to a 2013 German study, going through which they actually help them feel better. When a study volunteers choose to have sex during a headache episode, about 60% of migraine sufferers and 30% of cluster headache sufferers reported partial or total relief of it. Because why? The endorphins released during orgasm, as well as increased blood flow to the genitalia area, likely play a role in sex pain relieving powers. So pain sometimes has to do with blood flowing to one particular area like the head, and sex can take some of that pressure off by redirecting the flow. Ain't that cool? Isn't that cool? So once again, sex is really powerful, guys. Sex, sex, sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
Right.
Yes. Did you know that sex may extend your life? Did you know? Several studies have found connections between a busier sex life and a longer life in general. Did you know? Most notably, a Duke University study that took place between 1955 and 1980, researchers found that for men, frequency of intercourse was related to longer lifespans, while for women, enjoying an intercourse was the most significant factor. So let's have more sex to live longer. And then we'll take our Volage and we'll look younger at the same time.
Long live
Did
the
you
queen.
know? Did you know? And I think this is so important for people to know. Did you know that sex strengthens relationships?
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Did you know that? Because oxytocin, also known as the love hormone, is released during physical intimacy and skin contact, and it can help increase romantic feelings between you and your partner. Want to boost the bond even more? Be sure to cuddle after sex. A University of Toronto study found that couples who are asked to spend extra time together after sex, kissing, talking, and being affectionate, reported higher levels of satisfaction with their sex lives and with their relationships. Did you know?
We know
Did
now.
you know? Did you know? Did you know? Sex is the key to lasting happiness. Did you know that physical intimacy can be difficult to maintain as people age, especially if chronic illness gets in the way? But couples can especially benefit from staying sexually active, according to a 2014 study from Johns Hopkins University on adults ages 58 to 85. Researchers found that couples who regularly engage in sexual activity, even as little as once a month, reported greater marital satisfaction and happier relationships than those who hadn't done it in a year or more. What? A year? Really?
I'm sweating.
Man, listen, sexual activity didn't have to mean intercourse either or result in orgasm. The study authors say that anything couples do together to stimulate sexual arousal can have a lasting benefit. Wow. Now this one is going to blow your mind, guys. Did you know?
What's your words?
Did you know? Did you know that sex makes you smarter?
I'm a genius.
A 2010 Princeton University study found that rats that have more frequent sex show more neuron growth in the hippocampus, a key brain region for learning and memory. We know there are chemicals released during sex that activate the brain's reward center. So it makes sense that this neurogenius happens in people as well. In some ways, sex could potentially make you smarter. And then last but not least, did you know? Did you know that sex makes you look younger?
You can never guess my age.
Hello. 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 Research is presented at the 2013 British Psychological Society annual meeting found the study subjects who had frequent sex at least 3 times a week for people in their 40s and 50s look between 4 and 7 years younger than those who had less. Did you know? So they suspect that the endorphins and feel-good chemicals released during intimacy plus sex's beneficial effects on sleep and stress levels. Sex also boosts blood flow and helps regulate hormones. So all of this allows a positive effect on your skin's appearance. So those were a few did you knows, because we're here just to talk about sex and put a positive spin on it for us to not have a negative connotation towards it in any way, shape, or form. And just have that conversation. So any thoughts? Let's have that conversation. Any questions? Let's talk to it. Anything? Nothing at all?
You guys are shy?
Right, everybody's
So am
shy.
I.
Everybody, a couple people can come on and then go quiet. Really? 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 Let's talk about sex, baby.
You know Dr. Rules will call your name, so you better just jump in now.
Child, me, I ain't calling nobody name. I surprised they don't have. I surprised they don't have dots next to their name.
We're both.
Oh my God.
We're not hiding anything.
I've had many men asking me because I call myself the queen of ED, erectile dysfunction. I've had men ask me if the Balage will make their pineal gland grow longer.
Oh.
Or grow bigger, get bigger. So like my answer is to them always, is that first of all, unless for some miracle action, the Balage is actually going to grow some extra skin on your pineal gland to allow the penis to suddenly engouge more than what is already there. No, the Balage will not do that. The Balage will engouge the pineal gland as long as you're taking it every day, and it will allow the blood to flow so that the pineal gland will literally, oh my God, is this being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded. I was just about to say, what a sec. All of that being recorded? What a sec. Yes, it's on you. Joy is like, is it being recorded? It's on YouTube. Let me put
look at the top left corner of your screen. Yeah. Tell you all the time.
I say, Lord, I thought I didn't record it just now. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. And so basically the pineal gland is going to engouge with blood, and it's going to allow the blood to flow. Now, first and foremost, when a man starts taking the Balage, initially I tell them to either start with 2 sachets to 4 sachets a day, depending on their pre-existing conditions. And the reason for that is because, one, you want their body to flush, because whatever is happening in their body needs to come out, whether it's the excess mucus, whether it's the inflammation, whatever is happening needs to flush out of their system, even some of the stress. Because remember, Balage also helps with stress. So once that happens, they start seeing the effects of what we always talk about, that microcirculation, the power of that microcirculation. Because for those that are in Sankey and utilize the products, the power of what you have. People don't understand how powerful that is. And prayerfully, we should have on tomorrow night, I'm hoping that he's able to get on, a gentleman who's been taking the product since November. And he literally, 1, has lost over 100 pounds. 2, since then, he has also been able to deal with, he said he used to go to the restroom at least 10 to 20 times a day and only be able to pee out a drop. Literally, only a drop of pee used to come out. Nothing. And now he has a waterfall.
Wow.
So it helps with your prostate issues. Gets rid of that prostate inflammation, because it's inflammation. This is inflammation, guys. We have to understand the greatest thing that's happening against our body right now is not having proper circulation.
Yeah.
not having proper circulation. Having poor circulation is messing with so many of our organs, messing with just the overall factor of how our body is functioning. And if you just get the Balage circulating through your body, you will be blown away by what it does. And I know people come on and they think that we just be like, yeah, okay, they just trying to sell us anything. I'm trying to sell you nothing. I can send you the white paper. This product has been researched and developed for over 40 plus years and still in research and development. Like when I say that they constantly developing it to make it stronger, it's now moved up to 25% stronger than what it was. That's like amazing. Like who does that? They've never stopped developing it. Like, companies will create a formula and then that's it. But here they took 40 years to create a formula and then they keep on enhancing the formula so that it can get better and better. Carlene, do you have a question? I saw your thumb up. I don't know if you have a question. Y'all can open your mics and speak, Y'all can open your mics and talk.
A quick question to Dr. Rutan.
Yes.
When a man is not able to get a full erection, of course his penis is not going to look at the full size, but once he's able to get a full erection, doesn't it appear to be bigger?
Oh yes, it'll definitely appear to be bigger.
Yeah, so
because well, maybe that's what they're talking about, but it's not going to do something that it's not. Well, okay, put it this way. If at 18 it looked like a 10-inch penis, and by 30 it looked like a 7.5 inch, the Balage is going to take it back to what it looked like when it was 18.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna get that out there for you guys.
Yeah, the blood is gonna flow. It's gonna get it flowing. I mean, we have many satisfied men that are using the product, and what they are finding, and women. And the thing is, what they are finding is that, especially because, like I said, I'm an expert with the men, but what they are finding is that from that, they are then bouncing into the other products because they see the power of what the Balage can do. So, okay, what else do you have for me? Carlene, you wanted to say something? I know you opened your mic.
Right. I was just asking which product, but you just answered it. You said
Balage. Yeah, the Balage. Yes, definitely. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so that and I then have the men, once they see that it's working on them, they're like, okay, can my wife or my significant other, my girlfriend, she has this going on, can she take that? I'm like, yeah, but I started with the men because there are so many men that are out there sick and they don't want to go to the doctors. And a lot of them are taking all of this medication that causes erectile dysfunction and they are stressed out. The men are stressed. Mr. Brackett, what say you? Yes, Ms. Carlene?
Will this product help with fibroids?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. The Balage. And the inner 7.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Desmond, you're out there. What say you?
Okay, I'm going shy.
Nothing? Oh, everybody's shy tonight. Let's see who else is out there. Oh, I just saw Desmond. Miss Kathleen Brackett, what's up? Are you out there? The Brackett's quiet. One in that one room, the other one in the next room. Oh. Mr. Renford Campbell, are you out there?
Miss Dita, come on there. Miss Dita Allen just came in. I wonder if she want to get her feet wet.
I think she just reached.
I know.
Just reached. But yeah, so those were some of the, did you know about sex? Because I think we need to understand the power of what intimacy, what sex is. And also another thing is, do we remember when it comes to intimacy with women and men? I think it is said that, when going to have sex, it should start from earlier in the day. It should start with that lingering kiss or the tap on the butt or you know, the nibble on the neck where they just kind of, their hair kind of tingles your neck and you're like, don't do that,
Stand
don't do
really
that.
close.
You know, but
And
it's not
scared of
there,
it,
you know,
yeah.
and you walk away and then that's it. And you know, smell good, man. Smell good, man. When y'all
Mhm.
smell good, man. When a man smells good, a woman be like, oh,
Mm,
God, oh,
mm, mm.
I don't know about y'all, but that's, you know, when a man
Yeah,
smells good,
you gotta
it's a
smell good.
whole nother
Oh,
ball game.
green arm,
Man,
you
listen, it's a
know.
whole nother ball game. Whole nother ball game. I don't know about y'all.
Mm.
Yes, Joy, you ain't hear us talk about how sex could tone the muscles and you could lose weight and how men burn more calories than women, which leads me to believe that us women ain't getting on top and riding that horse the way we need to. But anyway, I'm my business. Don't let me get in your business. Not my business.
I think the men are lying. You know, I think the women are doing better.
Man, they had a calorie count on the people's wrist, man. I tell you, the man doing more work.
They switched it.
So yes, we need, you know, we can burn calories, you can exercise, it's going to help you sleep better at night if you get into it. So, you know, these are things that you could do, but you have to lead up to it for women, even for men. Like, you know, it's the small things that make a difference, you know, and we have to remember that. And if you realize that, then it goes so far, especially for women. If you know how to really get us to a next level before getting us to the level, it's
Mm-hmm.
over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's over. And you know, it there's so many types of intimacy. You have that physical intimacy, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what does physical intimacy really like involve? It involves body closeness. It can involve hugging, cuddling, kissing, holding hands, depending on the nature of your relationship, you know?
Yeah.
But we have to learn people's touches. And then what I've learned, and I don't know about anybody else on here, what I've learned is that sometimes your partner, whatever they kind of do to you is technically what they kind of want done to them. I don't know if
Yes.
I'm making sense. Like, so
Yeah.
if you have somebody that like nibbles or licks you somewhere and you're like, ew,
Awful.
why did that person just lick me?
Mm.
That's kind of what they want.
It's an
Or,
invitation.
you know, blowing in the ear or nibbling on the ear. That's kind of actually what they enjoy. So you
Mhm.
have to be, you know, very aware and mindful and watching for what the way they touch you. Do they like their hands rubbed up and down your legs, up your back? Do they want a massage? Do they want to tickle? Like, you know, just these little weird different things, you know, all those things. And then you'll see, and then if you start doing it to them, you'll be like, and they'll react and you'll be like, oh, okay. So these are just things to be mindful of when in a relationship, when having intimacy, when going for sex, because sometimes we forget and we think and the thing is sometimes you end up doing something to them that they don't really like at all. And they're like, well, why you bite me? I don't like to be bitten. And you're like, but I like to be bitten. So once again, it then goes into the conversation of what do I like from what my dislikes are as well. Having that conversation with your partner, it does change the dynamics of where you're going, you know, and there's also emotional intimacy, but this emotional intimacy is when persons are being very transparent with their deepest feelings, their fears, and their thoughts. So once again, it's conversation. Have you ever had emotional intimacy with somebody? You know, really sharing some of those things that maybe you've never shared with somebody. And I'm not saying this would be happening maybe with a random partner, but this is that person that you really see as that individual where you're going to go down that road with them at some point, you know, where you feel close enough and open enough and free enough to have that emotional intimacy. And then you have intellectual intimacy. I don't know if you've ever had those individuals that, you know, when you speak to their mind and it literally turns them on.
Stop talking about business now.
Listen, you have them conversations that take you to the next level, and you're like, what the
Sorry, I.
Ooh, yeah, you understand? You like, oh,
Mm.
let me get that one in the room right now. And
Mhm.
what I'll do to that one. Listen,
Mm.
that's intellectual intimacy, because those conversations are just stimulating your mind. They are literally
I found a few
challenging.
men like that,
Yeah, no,
Dr.
it's challenging
in
your
my
learning.
mind.
It's opening your learning. It's really just, and it's, having different topics, expressing your views, and nourishing mental intimacy. And I know you're sitting there going, what? Listen, I just want to get peace. Well, that's where
Mhm.
you're at, but where is your partner at? And
Yeah.
so once again, it's like, what am I doing to make sure that my partner is happy? Because once I can stimulate my partner, then I can then be stimulated. So it's serving that partner to sexual arousal. And then of course there is spiritual intimacy, where you have that spiritual sense and you're on the same level, and your beliefs, your life's purpose, your connection to the divine energies that are around you, that surround you. And this is another level where the two of y'all are being together from a spiritual perspective. So those are just different levels of intimacy out there, and how it can affect you and what it can do. But I don't know if anybody has any thoughts. It's just not me rambling, guys. So y'all can talk.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not having sex, that's a question that someone has asked. What if you're not having sex? That is a good question. I mean, there is other ways of stimulation, but some persons don't believe in it. So we can speak to all of those type of stimulations as well, because ejaculation is something that's sometimes very good for the body because it releases stress. And, that's what we were talking about in the beginning, how important stress relief it is. So you do have some persons that don't have partners at all. And so you have to look at that as well. There are things out there that can be used for that. There are toys and, stuff as well. Some people don't believe in it and some people do, so I'm not here to judge anybody or have anybody be judged, judge lest ye be judged. So that is a decision that you're on, or a path that you're on. But if you feel that you need that release and stuff, you have to find ways to make it happen, but having the release does get certain hormones released out of your body, allowing certain levels to go down and allowing the stress factors in your life to be better if you haven't found that partner as yet. Any other thoughts or questions? Anything, Marvel?
Well, you know what? Going back to some of the things you said you used to stimulate each other before the actual meeting at whatever time. I find there are things that seem so simple that can be a big turn on, like holding hands. I find it to be very powerful because I believe that you can feel a person by how they hold your hands, So it either get you up or get you down, you know. Sometimes just touching somebody, the way they turn to look at you, that you've touched their soul, So
Right.
we don't have to do lots of things, and whatever simple things can get you there too,
Yeah,
and especially if you're shy.
that's true. That is very, 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 very true. Because there's so much, and the thing is, there's so much stuff out there that you can learn about. Like, don't be shy to go and research, things that you don't know, because it's out there. The information is out there. And if you're interested in looking it up, go look it up and see, because then you'll learn, oh, okay, this is something that I could do, or I could try this, and keep your relationship fun. Keep your
And
relationship fun and, and easygoing, but make an effort. Like, just make an effort. Put an effort to it. It's so
allow your
important.
mind also. Allow your mind to stretch. Let your imagination go wild. Nobody's knowing what you're thinking. You can go as far as you can in your imagination, and then you can take piece by piece, little by little, and see how your partner react to it. Or even if you want to discuss it, Babes, I was thinking about that, I used to do that work when, I wasn't that busy. I would sit there and think about what can I do tonight, and it worked out many times, and some partners want you to do that, some don't. So if you know your partner, male or female, you know your partner, you know how far you can go. You know, some people don't like surprises, you know, some people do. Wake me up in the middle of the night, baby. I'm not gonna say no. You see, because you're sleeping. What does a man see in a woman, or a woman in a man sleeping? Sometimes the mouth is open, whatever, right? And you still find them attractive. I think that's the time that you shouldn't say no. You're not all dolled up and anything. You're not at your best look, because you have no control over how you look when you're sleeping, and you're being approached like that. Oh, take it, and run with it. you know okay, so you might think I'm a freak. I'm not a freak. I'm just realistic. If my husband ever told you I say no to him, I'll take him to court. Never. I never say no. There's no need. Why pretend? you know right, Lisa?
Well, I in the same boat with you.
You see that? And
But
it's not leaking.
some people like tonight we having this conversation, right?
Mhm.
And it's like from way back, sex has always been something that is taboo.
Yes.
That people feel so uncomfortable about speaking about it, even in a forum like this, because nobody wants to be judged.
Right.
And people think, well, okay,
Judge me.
if this person talking like that, then they must be doing this or they must be doing that. And that is okay,
Yep.
Because a lot of people do a lot of freaky shit after dark.
Yeah.
And right on this same call, you
The
wouldn't
freaking
believe
dicks.
it's the same people, But you're just kind of shy to come out in the open and express the way that you feel. But some people are very boring too.
Mm.
When coming to sex, they're very boring.
Yeah, and not only that, I think, and that is so true. Like I know, for instance, with me, sometimes my partner would just hold my hands. Like, I'm literally confined to a bed, right? I'm not able to walk.
You
And
can't
literally
get away.
hello. And sometimes literally he'll lay on the side of me and he'll hold my hand. And I'm like, wow, And I thought that that's like really cool, because at first I was like, I thought it was weird. I was like, just hold my hand to go
Yep.
to sleep, because I never had that before. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then cuddling, everybody is different. Every partner that you're with is going to do things differently. They're going to do things differently, and it's insane, but you can learn to get with them. And I agree with you, Lisa. It's like, you can't be dead. Like, you got to be alive. Bring life into your relationship, whatever that is, and search deep, man. Go deep.
But too, Dr. Rutan, sometimes, especially with couples who together for a long time, and they go through so much like bad stuff between them, it's hard for them to recoup, to get back to that place, because things keep happening. And I have a friend, and she does line up herself for the husband, you understand? And then it does be some dumb thing he will say, and she just get turned off. And she kind of wired like that, so people wired different ways. But sometimes people, and it have other people who the man want to have sex, because for men sex means everything okay. And for a woman, she wants to fix things and then have sex.
Right.
A lot of the times, because it's like, let me deal with this, So then you have all these conflicting things happening, and So that's why probably people go out, look for other people, get that excitement and bounce back.
Right.
Mhm.
So it's so many layers. It's so many layers to this whole thing, universal word called sex,
Yep.
that people just have to figure it out. What works
Yep.
for you and what doesn't work for you.
And what works for Peter might not work for Paul.
Exactly. For me, I don't like to argue seriously. Like if we're playing games or something, we're arguing like about who's cheating and so that's okay. But to be really angry and rowing in the place and stuff, don't come to me. I don't. You know what? Sometimes my husband he's saying stuff and I'm like, where does this guy get these ideas from? I don't answer. I don't push up myself. I'm cooking, and when I'm finished, I'll say, "Are you gonna eat now?" Sometimes I go to yes, or sometimes he doesn't even answer, right? But I am not upset. I am not gonna get vexed. I might not like it. I wait 2, 3 days down the line, then I'll talk about it. Because it doesn't make any sense. He's rowing and I'm rowing. Nothing's gonna happen, right? So when it comes to sex now, I'm clear. I'm good. You know, I have a friend that told me that I'm not a woman, I'm a man in woman's clothing because of what I think about sex. But nobody gonna touch my sex, okay? Nobody gonna touch it. It's there for me and I want it. So it doesn't make any sense if you don't want to do it, and don't come start with a row because I'm not gonna follow you. You're gonna row by yourself because later on I'm ready. And don't but oh, so you're vexed with me and you want now? No, no, no. I got vexed with you. No, no vex. No vex at all.
Yeah, we have to start having more conversations about it to make it an easier conversation, easier off the tongue, easier for us to speak about it, because then it makes it better for you and your partner, because you and your partner should be talking about sex,
Mhm.
because it really makes it easier, honestly,
Yeah.
and if you're not, try to just bring it in, like just a small piece somewhere, just a
Well, some people
small
don't want
piece
to
somewhere.
talk. They don't want to talk because they think their life is good. Because her husband come, boom, 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 it's over. You take a shower. Oh, next morning, he doesn't even pat you on the butt. You don't even give him a kiss. Nothing happened last night. It's a routine,
Right.
right? So we need to get to the place where we can't keep our hands off each other. My son say, "You guys get a room," you know,
Right.
because we'll be eyeing down each other and carrying on, you know. Hey guys, I'm here, that kind of stuff. But boy, learn something. So when you get your wife, you know what to do. Sex is not dirty. As Red Fox say, sex not dirty unless you don't beat after. You know, I
Yep.
I really talk about sex because I love sex. I love it. I don't love it from man to man and man to man. But I got my partner. I gotta wear him out. If he don't want to take care of himself, you want some soursop juice and you want to eat raw cabbage and lettuce and things like that, you make sure you eat those things. Because I got sex tonight, tomorrow, I'm back. I want
Well, I don't know if persons knew, but there are actually different phases to sex. So
Mm,
I don't know if you knew. The first phase is excitement,
mm,
excitement in sex. So what happens there, and it can include the following and can last from a few minutes to several hours, okay?
mm.
And it will be muscle tension increases, your heart rate quickens, and breathing is accelerated. Skin may become flushed, nipples become hardened or erect, blood flow to the genitalias increases, resulting in swelling of the women's clitoris and labia. Okay, that's the inner lips, and erection of the pineal gland. Vaginal lubrication begins. The women's breasts become fuller and the vaginal walls begin to swell. The men's testicles swells, their scrotum tightens and begins secreting a lubricating liquid. Uh-huh.
And that liquid can make you pregnant. Go ahead.
And then phase 2, guys, is called the plateau. So here, the change begins in phase 1 and it's intensified. the vagina continues to swell from increased blood flow. So now think about this. Let's think about this for a second. Pelage helps with blood flow, circulation. So the women who's sitting there saying they ain't feeling nothing because they ain't into sex, what does that tell you?
They need Belage.
Yeah, that blood ain't flowing.
That's it. Nothing
Because
going on.
if at phase 2, your vagina is supposed to still be blood's supposed to be flowing, and the vaginal walls are supposed to now start to turn dark purple. And then the women's clit, it's becomes so highly sensitive that it's painful to touch because why? So much blood is flowing.
Mm.
And it retracts under the clitoral hood to avoid direct stimulation from the pineal gland.
Mm.
And guess what? In this plateau, the man's testes tighten. And then the breathing, the heart rate, the blood pressure continues to increase. Muscle spasms may begin in the feet, face, and hands. Muscle tension increases. We plateauing, guys. We going for it. Woohoo!
Mm.
And then it's the orgasm. Phase 3, guys.
Eagle has landed.
Man, involuntary muscle contractions begin. Blood pressure, heart rate, and breathing are at its highest rates with a rapid intake of oxygen. Muscles in the feet spasm. There's a sudden forceful release of sexual tension. In women, the muscles in the vagina contract. The uterus also undergoes rhythmic contractions. In men, rhythmic contractions of the muscles of the base of the penis result in the ejaculation of semen. A sex flush may appear over the entire body. Dun dun.
Mm.
The eagle has landed.
I think
Then
I need to
there's
go
the
turn on the air
resolution where
conditioning.
everything just starts to turn back to normal.
Let me turn on the air conditioning there. That's sweating too much.
So guys, these are the different levels you should be going through. And if you're not, something is going on. It's not normal.
Mm.
Like I try to tell people, having sex is normal. This is what God created us for, to have sex. This is a part of not only procreation, but it's like it keeps us young. It keeps us just connected.
Yes.
Any thoughts, guys? Like nobody's talking, only Lisa, me, and Mava. Y'all gonna want to talk tonight? Nobody wants to talk? Any talking? Yes, Karen.
I would like to ask a question.
ahead.
You have some places where they say women have numerous or several different partners. What happens? Is it one size fits all?
Child, you never know. And not only that is the fact that I know.
I mean, how is that? Because you're dealing with so many different. How does that affect them in the bedroom?
let's
It's
think
just
about
that
it.
they would go through.
Exactly. That's a roller coaster. That's a roller coaster of emotions. And then you have all the microbiome going through them. That's all the different germs and bacteria, which in some instances might help boost their immune system. But that's not the question. But yeah, that is like a roller coaster all on itself, Karen. Like seriously. Because that means, and then you have to know each partner, or unless it's just random partners and then you're just me, you might just be a sex addict. That might be something that's your stimuli. Lisa,
So,
what
like,
say you?
well, it depends on the person because that person might find this one really floating it. So they're probably trying to find the correct fit.
Find out
Yeah.
one person that brings it to where they
And-
need it.
Yeah, and maybe somebody might find, okay, they have different partners and they each bring something different to the table sexually. So they go for that variety. Now, you see, we speak about it. It's a taboo when women do it, but it's not a taboo when men
When
do
men
it.
do it. That's the truth.
Because men have a lot of different partners and we don't think the same way. How they
Yeah.
do that, how they do that is, and they will tell you, this one could do that. That one could fly. That next one could flip. And they get different things from different people. So it's probably the same thing. Or they could even be practicing safe sex
Mhm.
with different
Partners.
people. Yeah. So, is whatever floats your boat.
And then they might have a vivacious sexual appetite. And the
Yeah.
appetite might just be sexual appetite might be very large.
You see, we had to cater to it, have the connoisseurs, who you have the people who have partners who have erectile dysfunction and all of that. It have the people who like to watch. It have people who like to see other people have sex with their wife or their girlfriend. Sometimes people have all kind of fetishes, so they don't mind that.
Right.
Sometimes their partner no. Sometimes their partner there are active participant, So all kinds to make up the world.
That is the truth. You ain't lie. Takes a full garden to make a rose garden or garden itself. It don't just take one type of flower. That is the
Yeah.
truth.
That
That is the truth.
people into all kind of weird things
Yep.
that will make you pass out.
And then I have found for anyone that's on here that takes the products and you still don't feel you're getting the sensations and stuff that we're speaking of, take more product, because I'm telling you, it can take you to the next level, and also look at your diet, look what you're eating, foods that you really shouldn't be eating, which I know you're going to be like, oh God. Alcohol doesn't help with a sexual appetite. And I know you've heard Nurse Donnelly speak about this. We always think, oh, well, let's get some wine. Let's drink this. Let's drink that. Let's do this before we have sex. But guess what? That ain't helping nothing. The red meat, that don't help nothing either. It's like just these weird little, sugars and all that don't help. So if you're really trying to make sure that your sexual appetite is where you want it to be, oh, Miss Kimberly Rose says the Balage, it works. You need to tell us that story, Miss Kimberly. Tell us about it. Talk about it. She says that Balage works.
But Dr. Rutan, sometimes people don't even want to be with the person that they're with.
Oh, that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother ballgame.
So then it has nothing like feeling no kind of arousal.
Yep.
They just want something new.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yep. And I think that's where, sometimes in life decisions just have to be made, I hate to say it like that, and I ain't nobody giving no advice to nobody, but sometimes you just gotta just make decisions.
Yeah, because you see, for me, I could only talk for me.
Right.
If something not working for me, I telling anybody. I don't intend to get old and be unhappy with who I with.
I agree. Totally
you understand?
agree.
So you just getting older every year and just living in this rut to say what, So for me, that's for me.
Yes. Well, we have, hey, Miss Lisa, we have Kimberly Roll that says, my husband was taking the Balage for glaucoma for his eyes, and his side effect was pitching a tent. Hey!
Whoa, happy camping.
That's what I'm talking about. Make sure that tent stays up.
Yeah.
But it's, guys,
that's a great side effect.
Of course. Because of course, what is happening, microcirculation, making sure that the blood is flowing the way it needs to. So guys, tonight's call has come to an end. We've been on for an hour. I want to say thank you so much to Marva for restarting.
Already?
An hour already.
Foreplay.
An hour already. So the call was recorded. So for those that want it, it's at YouTube page, Ruth Ann Newton Lightburn. You can find it there and get the recording to send out if need be. But we might do this again next Thursday, or we might only do it once a month. We'll see what happens. But if anyone has any other questions or thoughts or, comments, please feel free just to open up your mic. Miss Lisa?
Dr. Ruth Ann, you're now saying that it is imperative that you have and get enough sex, but yet you want to do the call once a month? How does that work?
Oh, Jesus. Miss Lisa, what you trying to say?
That once a month not cutting it.
That's not gonna cut it. So what we have
Once
to
is
do,
not
Miss
enough.
Lisa?
It's a nice relaxing talk,
Yeah. So we have to do this every Thursday.
Yeah. Once
Oh,
a
okay.
week.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, well, guys, if you want us to continue this next week, Thursday, let us know, by a show of putting something in the room. Mr. Brackett, please speak.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Will you be also having the men and women talk on Fridays and stuff like that along with this?
Say again, sir. I didn't hear you.
Will you be having the men talk and women talk along with this?
Well, we have the women's talk on Saturdays, and then we have the men's talk on Fridays.
Right. And then this on Thursdays?
Yes, sir.
But this talk wasn't for men and women?
Yeah,
This
this talk
sounds
is for
like
men. Yeah, this talk is for men and women. This talk is for anyone.
Right. This one sounds like a combination.
Well, this is what it is. This is sex. Just sex.
Yeah, for both men and women.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm saying
Well, to point it out to you.
combine somewhere there. Isn't that what we talk about men time and women time?
No.
Miss Kathleen, what say you?
Yes,
Since your husband's on here, what Miss Kathleen has to say?
No, my comment is that I think this is a good gesture, a good thing to do, because yes, people are silent, but they are learning, and there are persons who actually need this. I just want to say that we've been married for 42 years, and
You're an angel.
we are what?
You're an angel.
I'm an angel. I am not an angel,
Come on, don't let me down. Don't let me down.
We have it going, Marva. We have it going. Don't worry. But I don't think that we are persons who articulate it very well to others, but it's been good for us.
Yeah,
It's going good.
that's what I'm talking about.
Well, people that looking on can get a good idea. You know what I'm saying?
But it's a good gesture, and I know that a lot of people hurt in this area, and they're not going to talk like Lisa, but they're learning. They're learning.
Why you call my name?
Because
She's just saying you're out there. You're gonna state it as it is, and let people hear it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Just teasing, just pulling your legs.
Yeah, I know.
No, man. No, Lisa, no hard feelings. I lift my hand.
What kind of feelings?
None taken. I have always been vocal about everything.
You like to vocalize things.
Yeah. I don't feel shy.
Yeah, and I think that
There's no need
if
to.
people are exposed to this more often, then you will have marriages that last and just don't endure, but you really have a relationship,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had a gentleman yesterday, I think yesterday I think it was, and he said that, he wanted to know about the Bellage because he actually hadn't had an erection for 2 years.
Wow.
And I was like, I said, sir, you need the Bellage. And I said, he's like, yeah, he says, it's not that, it's not even about really having sex. It's just the fact that I know I'm not able to get an erection. And because he's like, I don't think my wife is into that. I said, well, she needs Bellage too. I said, because that doesn't you can't tell me she's not into it. You know what I mean?
Their mind, their
Unless,
condition.
you know, unless something is truly happening, it's not about not being into it. It's that sometimes, you know, once again, mentally you might not be into it because your mind isn't there. And then physically you might not be into that because your microcirculation is not functioning. Because how can your clit engouge with blood as a woman if you don't have no blood flow into your body? If your blood isn't flowing the way it needs to, how can it engouge? It can't. Just like the pineal gland can't engouge with blood, how can that engouge with blood to bring hypersensitivity in that area to make you feel something? How would it happen? It can't happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
just as we need, the men need Balaj for their form of, you know, erection, so the women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr.
Is-
Ruta,
Yes, sir.
when I came on, I heard you saying something about if persons taking the Belage, like the men, for example, and they're not seeing no results.
Yes.
That's my word. They should take more. By more, what do you mean?
Like for instance, you can take up to 6 sachets a day.
And in doing that, they will begin to see results.
The thing is, you will see their body will, whatever the pre-existing of whatever is happening, one is going to flush out of their system faster. So I've had some persons that, for instance, take 1 sachet per day. And when they take that 1 sachet per day, they have found that it's because they're not changing their lifestyle along with it, because that's another thing. If you're not going to change anything along with doing it, it's going to take longer. They've found that, okay, that change has happened within, say, 3 weeks or 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks. But then I've had persons that have then done it where they do 4 sachets a day, 2 in the morning, 2 in the late afternoon. And they got their results in less than 4 days. And this was someone who was taking Viagra, only could take Viagra to get an erection.
Okay. So the more, okay, so you're suggesting that you start from a point. Let's say you start at 1 and nothing is happening. You keep climbing up the ladder. You add 1 more each time until
Yes,
something.
sir. Well, this is like when I tell persons, I first tell you, I say, listen, if you're getting into the Balaj, I tell you, okay, first of all, take 2 sachets a day for the first 4 days at least. You know, and then you're going to let me know that something's happening, as in you're seeing a detox happening, you're flushing, you find yourself going to the bathroom, you find yourself urinating more, something starts to happen in your body. So that means something is moving now. If you start taking a Balaj and you see nothing happening, child, you're full of inflammation. You are full of inflammation. You need more because
Okay,
something is going to happen.
You just made another point that you're full of information. So how you get rid of that? Taking
Inflammation
still more
is the Balaj, yes, sir. Because that has to do with microcirculation.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So the one
we add the
Balaj,
inner 7 to that to help with that.
I wouldn't even add it in a 7, not yet.
No?
You don't have
Okay.
to. You don't have to.
because you're saying the Balaj has to do a cleaning up work
The
first
housekeeping, yeah.
Yes,
in
sir.
order to start seeing results. And
Yeah, it
that
has to, because it has to open up, it has to open your cells, because a lot of times persons are not only full of inflammation, but they're full of mucus.
Okay.
Mm.
And that cleaning up takes different numbers for different people.
Yeah,
By that
because
I
you
mean,
don't, because
in terms
sometimes you
of
don't
the
know how
Balaj,
long, right? Because
yeah, in
sometimes you
terms
don't
of
know
how
how
much
long
Balaj
those
you take.
people have been there like that, you see?
Well, I find that the guys who call on me, it's like they want a magic thing.
Yeah, and
By
I tell them straight
by
and
the
plain,
time they
that's
leave
like,
the room, they
uh-huh.
call me back to ask how long do them supposed to take this thing, and they take it like they just take it and
Yeah, but
why I
okay,
could
check
clean
this
it up
out.
and
If you take it, if you're just taking it, yet you're still drinking as much as you used to, still eating all the red meat, you only taking 1 sachet a day. Basically, it's kind of just cleaning out what you just ate. You know that type of way? It's not going into what it needs to go. It needs to go deeper than what you're
Yeah,
doing right
it's a
now. So
deep cleaning.
you got to do more. You got to do more. And so like I always tell the guys, I can send you the video that I send them. I tell them this is not a magic potion. It is a magic potion, as in it will do the job,
Yeah.
but you got to let it do the job. So if you think it's one of those pills that have horny goat reed in it and whatever the other solutions are, and you can take it and it can pop up and then pop back down after 20 seconds, 20 minutes. Yeah, stick to itiveness. That's exactly what we need, Kim. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
had
exactly
somebody
what
ask
is
me that
needed.
since night too. You know,
Some
how
are
You
long-
not.
know?
Some are not prepared to go the mile though, because
No, they're not. And then some aren't prepared to understand that the Balaj, even based on what Dr. Adia says, and if everybody has even been on like his webinars when he does it, technically, the Balaj literally can recover and restore what's happening in your body. Like it can literally get to the level where if you decide to implement a lifestyle along with it, it can literally permanently return and reverse what's happening.
okay.
Because
That's
In particularly ED.
yes, in particular ED, because that's microcirculation. That
Dr.
is what the product was literally made. That was the main, not for ED, but for microcirculation. Microcirculation is blood, and that has to do with erectile dysfunction.
Right.
Dr. Rutan, you know, we eat all kind of things on a daily basis, and a lot of the things that we eat have gotten our bodies into a state of disrepair.
Yep.
So it took years for it to come like how it become, but then we want something that will change
Happen
it
overnight.
in a week,
Uh-huh.
in a month. So that's why I tell people how long you think it take to get this way. And when they say, I say, well, you want to give it that time for your reversal, because people don't want to change their habits. They don't want to change the way that they eat. So
it.
every time you're taking the system and it starts to cut away a layer, you just replacing it. What
I
it
put the
just
same
tear out,
stupidness in. Uh-huh.
you just replace it. So then it keeps fighting, doing the same clearing on the same layer. So you find like things not happening.
Yep.
But we really, really have to make some changes.
Yeah, you have to be willing to put a little bit more effort in to make it more permanent, to make it happen, better. Like it's seriously, and it can happen. It can definitely happen. Because I have a gentleman who I think he's like 65, and he's like a racehorse now. I have him on the Balaj, then I had him on the Cranberry Fire, and then I got him on the Hasaki. And like he say, his little thing is ask him like, where you getting this energy from? You carrying on like a teeny ball pop.
Hey.
But that different stroke to different folks, because it depends on how what should I say, run down the person's body was.
Exactly, because that's why I always tell persons it's dependent on your pre-existing conditions, and sometimes you don't even know you have pre-existing conditions. Yes, Ms. Brackett?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
But Dr. Rutan, you realize like how with the COVID and everything, right? Anybody who has taken the Balaj, because you will take the trio, right?
Right.
For the COVID. And anybody who has taken it with the tree together and was drinking it hot,
right,
me myself included, the kind of mucus that was coming up, because I remember when I got the COVID, I woke up one morning about 4:30 morning. What made me jump out of my sleep was I couldn't breathe.
Right.
And I got so scared. And my next instinct, I ran to the kitchen and I started to put the tree together hot. And I sat down and I was drinking it. I was doing that every 3-4 hours because I was setting timers. That was early the Monday morning. And Tuesday afternoon, I started to doubt, oh God, like this thing ain't working, because I have to sleep sitting down. and have my mouth open to breathe. And about after 4, I was watching TV and I just finished drinking Balaj Kunu in a 7 together hot. And all of a sudden, you know, like something happening, but you don't understand what's happening. That time my whole nasal passage is clogged. I cannot breathe. I can't blow my nose, nothing. It just blocked. And I felt a sensation in my forehead. Like if when you drink Andrews or you drink soda and it's real cold, how it does feel, you
And
fizz up
and go
your
to your
brain.
head. Uh-huh.
Right. I start to feel that. And I take my hand and I start to pass it on my forehead because like it was tickling. And I remember like, it's like I was hearing like something, you know, like when water kind of dripping.
Right.
In my head. But I tell them myself, Mercy, how I'm feeling sick. And I was feeling so sick. And then something happened that I didn't even realize was happening, but my brain was trying to register what was happening. And all I know is that my nostrils, cold was just, you know, like a pipe.
Wow.
Like something, you know, when I run and start to blow my nose, I was feeling it coming from up in my stomach, coming up in my throat. I never felt anything like that in my life.
And that's what the Balaj does. Like when I start taking everything together, like sometimes people will hear me on a call like gagging. It's because usually I've just taken my Balaj and stuff. It literally pulls, like it chokes me.
So when you hear people on a regular, every minute they just get the coughing and hawking, you know what's going on in their system. You know the kind of mucus they have on that. Some people hear the chest rattling. And that is in the system.
Yep.
So these formulas does really clear up that mess.
I had a lady say the other day, she sent me a note that one of her clients, her customers, she had told her how, you know, it brings up mucus. Well, child, the woman literally got mucus coming out her eyes. It running out her eyes. Her eyes, to the point where her eyes in the morning are shut with mucus. Like closed, can't open her eyes. Like
Dr. Rutan,
crusted mucus across
when
the
I
eye.
when I blow my nose was just empty and clear. Nothing. When I tell you nothing, my whole passage thing. And in 10 minutes time, I was actually feeling it falling back.
Yep.
And that went on for like a day. Of every 10, 15 minutes, my nasal passage just falling back and I could just blow out everything. And, you know, I don't know how people want to know how long they had to take this, but the kind of buildup that we have in our system. And I taken this thing for a year and something now. And this is the kind of thing that has happened to me. So I know that it's going through layers. It's hitting layers in my system. So I don't know if that helped anybody.
Yeah, the
but
Balaj is the formulations are very powerful. And you know, for those that don't ever get on the 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern call, you would know that the Balaj itself is a product that in Japan is only prescribed to people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all getting what I'm saying. Prescribed. This is a prescription. I can't sell you Balaj in Japan. You have to go to a doctor for it.
Yeah. And we hear counting pennies, you know. And I don't mean to be rude about that, but if you go to the doctor and the doctor says you have to do surgeons $10,000 US, you can find that $10,000. When this can ultimately prevent you from going through all that.
Yep.
You know, because that inflammation and lack of circulation is deadly.
It is.
Deadly.
It definitely is.
You know.
Dr. Rutan, which is more effective, the hot or the cold?
Say again. Well, the hot gets in even faster than the cold. Like room temperature, warm, hot, like those get in faster than they do the cold. But it, you know, cold still gets in, but you know, Dr. Denise always says when you do anything warm or hot, it can get in even faster. So I guess cutting that 20 minutes even down further, because it does take 20 minutes to get in. So then you're looking at it even getting in faster than that. At a hot at level of
less than
hot.
20 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. You know, and for persons on this call, if you've never had a body scan to see the effectiveness of the product and you're in Jamaica or the Bahamas, please reach out, because we do have scanners in both countries so that you can actually see your microcirculation in action, see it, how it's working, how it's looking, you know, how far have you gotten? How is it really pumping the way it needs to? Do you need more ballage in your body? You know, we can show and prove to you what the product does. So please reach out to those in those countries so that they can set that appointment for you, and you can get to a Sankey distributor that can assist you with doing a body scan for you. Okay. So guys, 11:20. I want to say thank you so much for getting on. And like Lisa said, we must be coming back here next week.
Same place.
As she say, if we need to have more sex, we need to have more conversations.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
Right,
right.
Lisa? That's right? Okay.
right.
Okay, so we gotta have more conversations. So I want to say thank you so much, guys, for getting on. I need to confirm with Nurse Adelie for tomorrow night's call for the men. Prayerfully, it's still on, and if it is, we will be sending the flyer out. So get your guys on, get the men on to Nurse Adelie's Know Your Numbers call, where she talks about men's health. And then on Saturdays, we have Dr. Denise, Miss Joy Piera out of Trinidad and Tobago that shares with us about women's health. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so much for getting on. You didn't have to, but you did. I wish we'd have more participation, but guess what? It's going to come with time. It's going to come with time.
Shy.
Oh, shit, everybody ain't gonna talk out, but it'll come with time. So thank you. So
I'm
y'all have a
shy too.
fabulous night.
Okay.
Enjoy, guys. Good night.
Good night. Thanks for coming.
Good night.
No pun intended.
Good night.
Good
Good night. Thanks for coming. You know what? You so bad, Marva.
I know. Next week we'll play Dr. Rutan's song.
Excuse me. What, Marva? What you trying to say, Marva? What you trying to say?
Bedroom View.
You know, that's
Good
Marva so bad. Y'all don't know Marva. Marva's so mischievous. She's mischievous, very mischievous, very mischievous.
Marva,
Yes,
She's
sir.
mischievous.
there's a word to describe you, you know.
There is.
You don't know Marva. Marva's so mischievous.
Leave
Marva is,
Thank you.
You're the set
she
on.
is
Your wife will leave
mischievous.
me alone.
Lady.
And she knows that I'm a shy girl.